All right, hi, welcome guys. I think we're gonna get started. I'm sure more people will log on as we're going here, but we have a pretty full, exciting program today. So, so we'll go ahead and get started here. So welcome to our very first program. This is part of our virtual art series produced by the Guild of Artists and Artisans. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Elizabeth. I am the Gallery and Program Manager with the Guild. And we are really excited to bring you guys today's program. So as you know, right now, due to coronavirus, art fairs all over the country are canceling right now. So we're working really hard to create new events and programs that are both marketing opportunities for artists as well as hopefully entertaining and engaging events for you guys. So throughout the month of May, we'll be offering these artist programs twice a week. We'll have Tuesday coffee hours at 10 and Thursday happy hours at 4, with our first one kicking off today. These are a really great opportunity to meet artists, tour their studios, watch them demo their work, shop for artwork, and a lot more. So our intention with this program, with this series, is that each program will be unique from the rest. So, so we really encourage you guys to check them all out. You can do so a few ways. Okay, and we'll be posting all of the information on our virtual art series event page on Facebook. So encourage you to like and follow that. Another option, if you're not able to check one of them out and want to, you can watch the recorded versions later on the Guild's YouTube channel. So then today, we are kicking off with our first happy hour hosted by artists Stan and Renata. Stan and Renata live in Ann Arbor, and they have a really awesome program planned for you guys. So before we get started, because I know they have a lot they're excited to share with you guys, just a couple housekeeping things. I mentioned a few minutes ago, there is a little chat. Some of you guys have already started using it, but a little chat area to the right of your screen. So feel free to leave messages, ask questions. That's a good way for you guys to be engaged in this. And then down below, there's also a question button. So you can go ahead and click that. That's kind of an easier way if you have a question you want answered for it not to get lost in the comments. And as we move forward, I will try to get to all of your questions. I'll kind of chime in here and there. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Stan and Renata, your hosts, here.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hey.
And there's Luna over there. He has to be part of it.
Welcome.
I'm Stan.
I'm Renata.
And we welcome you to the very first virtual art fair. Happy hour.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Awesome. So before we get started, you know, what would happy hour be without drinks? So I hope you all have your favorite beverage in hand. And you may have seen on our Facebook that we are partnering with our Guild neighbors, Bløm Meadworks. They're located on 4th Avenue in Ann Arbor, and currently they're offering curbside pickup, local delivery options during designated days each week. Their meat is amazing if you haven't tried it yet, and they actually are delivering drinks to Stan and Renata shortly. I do have a quick video that I'd love to show you guys. It highlights the couple who owns and manages Bløm and talks a little bit about their creative process. So we're gonna go ahead and play that real quick, and then their delivery should be here any minute. So just a second. Share my screen here.
I think now we're really grateful that everything happened in the way that it did, because now we're here. But it definitely felt like a challenge when it happened. Bløm is a meadery and cidery in downtown Ann Arbor. We focus on mead and cider. We like traditional mead, you know, it has a heavy, rich flavor, but most of the time we just want to drink something casual, and session mead is that. It's that honey, yeast, and water, but it's fermented to be really light. So it drinks almost like a craft beer or a cider.
It's really kind of a crazy process to think about the idea of something like a honeybee, you know, gathering nectar, and then that nectar being transferred and transformed into honey, and that honey then transformed into mead, and then that mead being put on tap, and then that tap going into a glass. And this whole process flowing through from this little animal flying around out there, going from flower to flower, from tree to tree, from bush to bush. It's mind-blowing. If we didn't have honeybees, you know, we wouldn't have a business making mead. We started the brewery in Chicago, and like 4 years into it, I figured out I couldn't have gluten anymore. The nutritionist was looking at me and she was like, this is the first time I ever actually told somebody they were allergic to their career.
The last thing we want to hear when you're the head brewer is that you can't drink beer anymore, that you have this gluten allergy, this gluten sensitivity. It's really hard to watch a partner find out that the thing that they're most passionate about is something that they can't pursue anymore. And I think it was just kind of grappling with the knowledge that we had to change course in our life without knowing that it would result in something just as creative, just as fulfilling later. We source all of our ingredients from Michigan growers and producers. Michigan is this massive producer of agriculture, and is the second most biodiverse state after California.
Whether it's cheese producers, or if it's honey producers, or apple growers, or cherries, or raspberries, or whatever it's going to be.
Black currants and persimmons and pawpaws and lemongrass. There's way more biodiversity than people tend to think about, and I think it really expands people's thinking about what we can eat and what we can make from Michigan ingredients.
By choosing to source all of our raw materials from here in Michigan, we get to work with a lot of great local producers. And when we support them, they're supporting their economy as well.
When we go to buy ingredients, our day at work is so much more fun when we're ordering from them or we're visiting their farm instead of just getting online and placing an order. So we've developed all these relationships, and we now feel like we're friends with a lot of these farmers.
When we're thinking about how we make a product, we're starting with what can we get our hands on, what's available to us, and then what do we want to do with it? What can we make that we think tastes really good out of it?
If it was a really good harvest season for blueberries, we're going to look at making a blueberry mead. If it was a really great harvest season for currants, we're going to look at making a currant mead.
So, when things are coming into harvest, we're going crazy, paying attention to all these trees and bushes and berries and everything available to us. Mead is really exciting because the honey changes from season to season. So depending on what the bees are pollinating and what they're doing, we get different products.
Bees are these amazing insects. They produce this product to use within their hive, and then we're fortunate enough to take some of that for our own enjoyment. And then we're taking it and fermenting it. We're, putting it in a glass and we're drinking it. It's an ingredient that we treat with a lot of reverence because of the hard work that goes into it.
Yeah, I wish I could buy the bees a drink.
All right.
I think now we're really...
Sorry about that, guys. All right, so I'm going to bring Santa and Renata back up.
Hi, everybody. They're here.
Guys?
Yep.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so I'll let you guys take over from here.
All right.
Cocktails and show everybody around.
All right, here we go.
Bløm just arrived.
Here he is out here. Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Happy Thursday to you too. He brought us our mead. Here we are.
We just saw your video.
Yep, we got the big growlers. So we might be a little intoxicated by the time this is over, but you never know.
We wish you could stay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Got the optimal fish later.
All right. Thank you much.
Cheers.
Luna's happy. Okay, so we're gonna go back in, and Renata's got the mead and the cider, and we're gonna go on with our.
We're gonna sell you a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So here's my studio. This is what we have. I've been in the studio for about 20 years. I've lived in Ann Arbor my whole life. We have a great setup for you here. And we're going to start off because we need to have our drinks. We're going to mix our cocktails, and Bløm has come up with this great cocktail recipe that we're going to do. So, whoops, hold on to us for a second, and we will mix up a nice cocktail for you.
So it actually has thyme in it. They've made
Yeah, it's a pretty
a
cool little
simple
thing.
syrup.
Which? Okay, so the way it goes is they call it the Meadler. And it's 8 ounces of mead, 3.5 ounces of grapefruit juice, and 1/2 ounce of simple syrup that we made with sugar water and thyme.
So it's really good.
Yeah,
Like
really
I could
good.
just drink this.
She thinks she should put it on ice cream.
Everything.
But so we're gonna take, what do we figure,
Well, let's do
a
it.
shot and a half?
Yeah, let's do that. Oh, maybe 2.
Yeah, maybe 2.
And this is grapefruit juice.
This is fresh squeezed grapefruit juice. We're gonna add that in there. And that's supposed to be, so it's supposed to be 1/2 ounce of the simple syrup, 3.5 ounces of the grapefruit juice, and then 8 ounces of the mead. So we kind of made extra because we want to have a little bit extra. So we're gonna add in the mead.
And they actually included these 2 really great glasses for us too. We're gonna keep them clean. We're gonna use Stan's mugs.
Yep.
So you
So,
can use for coffee or tea
or mead or beer.
or whiskey or wine or bootleg
Anything you want.
whiskey.
You come from a long line of moonshiners, don't you?
I do. My family's from the south. So.
Cheers.
Cheers. Happy hour to everybody.
We're glad you're here.
That actually is pretty darn good.
It's very good.
They do have the recipe for this on their Facebook page or something. I think you can get it if you didn't get it from us now. But
So it's happy hour and everyone
yeah,
lift their drinks at least once or twice during the.
yeah. Every time we drink, you have to drink. So keep it up. So anyway, what we're going to do today is some demonstrations for you. We're going to talk about where you can buy our stuff. I'm going to show you around the studio. I'm going to show you around the warehouse. We got a kiln going for you, raccoon kiln, and do that. We're going to show you intermittently as we go through a whole bunch of Renata's work, because she does some great anodized aluminum jewelry. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm a potter.
So Stan built a studio for me about.
Yep. So we'll show you around here. This is my studio. I built this studio in 2002, and this is the whole thing. I have a piano. I don't really know how to play, but I have a piano. I have more than one actually. But we have shelves, the tables. There's the glazing area over here.
Show them the ceiling. Show them the ceiling.
Oh yeah, the ceiling's pretty cool because I have clouds on my ceiling. I was like whatever that famous guy was that painted on the ceiling in the Sistine Chapel. But then up here is the loft for Renata. So I built that.
It's very dusty.
It is. Well, it's a pottery studio. What do you expect? But I built that last year. It was always supposed to be part of the studio, but I had never gotten around to it, but finally did. So she has a place to work when she's here in town because she's actually from Traverse City area.
I am.
So we do what we can to try and do our fairs together and work together as much as we can. So the other thing is right through that door is the kiln shed. And here, I'll let you take this.
Here we go.
And we'll go into the kiln shed.
This is fun.
So the kiln shed, oh, and this is the list of all the art fairs that
None of us will be able
we
to
don't get to do this year. So I hope everybody supports us in other ways because you won't see us at art fairs. And as you all know, today it was announced that the Ann Arbor Art Fair is not going to go on. And of course, we're very disappointed about that.
We're sad.
I've been doing the show for this would have been my 43rd year at the Ann Arbor Art Fair. I started when I was a kid. And Renate has been doing it for about 30 some years.
Not Ann Arbor, but 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years. So, but anyway, hopefully you'll support us in other ways. But anyway, this is the kiln shed.
He built all these.
Yeah. And this one kiln, it's actually hot right now. It's probably a few hundred degrees, maybe 500 degrees. It's going to be fired by us. Yeah, don't touch it. And then this is my other kiln. It's wide open right now. There's nothing in it. I haven't fired anything in it in a couple of days. So it's ready to be stacked and used. And then over here we have the raku kiln. And we're actually going to do a raku firing here. So the kiln is hot. And we're gonna fire it back up. Hold on a second. So we're gonna get it a little bit hot. And this is gonna be the first demo of the day. We're gonna take some pots out of the raku kiln, which will be really hot, over 1,000 degrees. And then we're gonna put them in these buckets right here. The buckets are filled with shredded newspaper. So you don't know what raku is, this is what raku is. You're taking pots out of the kiln while they're still red hot, putting them in some kind of sawdust, newspaper or something, and this causes these great parts. So we're going to do that.
It's way cooler than me.
Well, it's a lot of fun. I like playing with fire. I was always a little bit of a fire here. So it's worked out good.
We're having a little hard time hearing you, Stan.
Oh, well, that's probably because there's so much noise from the kiln.
Oh, yep, when you're closer, you're good.
Okay. So the first thing I have to do now is suit up.
Oh, you're gonna love this, ladies. If you've ever wanted a fireman, you get Mr. Garfield. Are you ready?
Well, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Instead of taking clothes off, he's putting them on.
Head sock first. Protect my hair. Then we have the fireman's outfit. And as she says, this is a used fireman's outfit. It's a used one, so Garfield. I'm Garfield.
Stan's got a new nickname.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so come on in. We're gonna go back into the kiln shed.
You notice I don't get any protection?
So I have to be protected at all times. So from now on, you're not going to be able to hear me, so you're going to have to listen to Renate. That's always fun.
All right, here he goes. He's really kind of a dangerous man in more ways than one. So I hope you can all hear. He is a brat. Karen just sent a message that he's a brat, and he is kind of a brat. But actually, he's if you ever get to know Stan personally, he's a very good man. So here he goes. He's got his thumb up. And he's protected and I'm not. And there's one of his Michigan flat globes. Oh, and look at the vases. And again, I'm not protected. Oh. Fire. And the newspaper. So he does this until 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. There goes the newspaper. I hope you can all hear this. Fire. Should get some marshmallows. and the vases. So you'll all get to see these later because they'll be somewhat cool. And again, is it gonna fire? And there he is. And boom. All done. Mr. Garfield is ready.
We have a question. Our first question.
Okay, what's the question?
So Chris wants to know, do you leave your work in the reduction until they cool naturally, or do you plunge them in water to cool them?
No, I leave them in there naturally. They'll cool down in the next 20 minutes. And actually, in a little bit, we'll go back out there and open them up and you'll see them.
Awesome.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's all of that. Well, like I said, we'll go back there and look at them again and see what they look like when they're finished.
So another thing that people might not know about Stan is he makes his own clay. Sometimes he does get clay now this last year, but he's always made his own clay. So he sets this big thing up in the driveway and actually mixes it, and it takes what? It takes a whole day just to mix it.
Yeah, so I use an old dough mixer. It's actually a mixer that was made before 1900. It was in the late 1800s when this dough mixer was made.
Wasn't it in Ann Arbor someplace here?
I don't know where it was made, but it's been converted to electricity. It used to run off of, I believe it actually ran off of pulleys and horses at one time. It's so old.
Like you.
Yeah, right. So anyway, we'll, whoops.
Oh no.
We're losing it there. But I've always made all my own clay because I work with JT Abernathy. Oh, there's time for another drink.
Cheers, everybody.
Happy hour.
Mom, if you're listening.
Oh, so we want to give a good big shout out
To all the moms.
to all the moms out there for Mother's Day coming up. Certainly in this lockdown period, sure is a bummer to not be able to see your family and friends like you normally would. But here's to moms.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day. Cheers. And of course, we want to give a big shout out to Karen at the Guild.
And Elizabeth.
And Elizabeth,
Thank
our
you.
moderator. Thank you for having us. Karen Delhay is our executive director of the Guild, and she's done wonderful things for us with the Guild. So now we're gonna what are we gonna do next? We're gonna go on.
We're gonna tell them about JT Abernathy, but we have eggs and all kinds
Well,
of
we
stuff.
have a bunch of other little things that we want to do to show you. So I'm gonna flip the screen.
Why don't we do this first? Why don't we show you our Etsy sites? Because,
Oh, yeah.
because we don't have art fairs, the only
Everything's
way,
about Etsy. So
yeah.
right here is our Etsy pages. Renata is ETC2 Renata, and mine is Hires Pottery Studio. All one word. If you go on Etsy, you'll see both of our work.
And the Guild has that. Karen has those too.
Yeah, and I'm sure Elizabeth will put them up on the screen for you, so you'll see that. But we have a couple things here that we're going to show you.
Oh, we tried to do a pie in one of Stan's pie plates.
So we're going to flip
show
this
you.
around. Hold on a second. I'm going to flip the screen around, I think. There we go. So there's Renata with the pie plate. And I actually made a pie.
We made a pie. Well,
Yeah.
I tried to help, but
Yeah.
Stan's a little controlling in finding out.
Yeah, well, I'm a potter. So I'm a baker, but I don't really know how to bake. But I did make that
You
pie
did a
last
great
night.
job.
Yeah, and it's blueberry.
Awesome.
See if you look.
Oh, you're gonna put
If
your
you
finger
look
in it?
in here,
Mm.
yep. See, it's blueberry. Mm. Good. Mm-hmm. So we also have mini pie plates. So the big pie plates I sell for $40. They're on the Etsy site. We have mini pie plates that you can make a really great
Chicken
pot
pie.
pie in. They're awesome. They're on the Etsy site too, I believe. And then you can see some of the great things that Renata does. Here is,
Oh, it's my little catching fireflies.
yeah, isn't he cute? And then we have another little dragonfly that she does.
With niobium.
Yeah. And then of course,
Oh,
because of
we have
me, we have the beads. Yay. So the other great one thing that I do is I make these guys here. And they're egg cookers. You can see the eggs. Makes sense, doesn't it?
This
And the
this
chicken.
hen laid these eggs.
Yep. It's amazing, but it did.
This is
So-
called an urban chicken.
So these are egg cookers, and all you do is crack 2 eggs, mix them up in there. She's gonna crack 2 eggs because she wants to.
We didn't practice this, but
Yeah, see?
sometimes I like
1
to
egg,
take over.
2 egg, and then you would
And then
actually
You stick it in the
scramble it,
microwave
stick it in the microwave for
and watch
50
this.
seconds, and it turns out like that. The greatest thing, awesome thing to do. So those are, they're going up on Etsy. They're not up there yet, but they're going up there. So then we'll go around here and show you my setup of dinnerware sets. I have
Plates.
cups, plates, bowls. Now this is specifically out here because you can use my bowls for your M&Ms. And people we know, like Kristen Perkins, loves to have her M&Ms, and so do I. So they're really easy and handy for that. We got our berry bowls.
Bløm is a giant garden gossip brooch.
And then look at these cool little earrings here, the little owls.
Well, they're actually called whimsical wisdom,
Whimsical
which you
wisdom.
have none of. You have no
Hey,
whimsical
hey.
wisdom. You're
So
wise,
anyway, again, this is all of the studio stuff we just set out here for some nice flower vases. Now you could
And
get one of those flower vases for
goblets.
Mother's Day, but you'd have to do a porch pickup here with me to get it in time.
which is what Stan's going to offer porch pickup this year. So if
Yeah.
you live in the area, and even if you wanted jewelry, you can porch pickup.
You can. And I live actually right on Main Street in Ann Arbor. So it's pretty close. I'm like a half a mile from downtown. Right now you can't miss it because I have a big magnolia tree in my front yard that's in bloom. So that's pretty cool.
Which brings us back to cocktails.
Cocktail time. I know it's getting kind of bad here, isn't it?
It's not bad. It's good. You said blue. So
Thanks to
cheers.
Bløm Meadworks for the mead. It's actually really good.
It is good. And thanks again to Elizabeth and what's her name? Oh, Karen.
Karen, yeah, oh yeah, Karen.
I'm a brat too.
So actually, I didn't think I would like mead, but this cocktail is actually quite good. You should try it. It's really good. And, you know, mead's good for you.
A drunk Krabby Potter.
Well, you got to,
Oh,
you know.
aloha. We got a little aloha. Aloha. Oh,
Yeah.
aloha.
Hey, happy there to my sister. I hope she's doing well. My sister's out in Hawaii. You know, living large out there in the beautiful weather. But we do have quite nice weather here today. In
And
Michigan.
another thing, I think you can actually order Bløm and have it, you can have it, or the mead, and have it curbside. That's what I was
Yeah.
searching for.
Yep.
Because curbside's going to be a big word this year.
Oh yeah, everybody's picking things up that way.
So that's why we have the porch pickup.
So the next thing we're going to do here,
Are you going to throw pot?
I think we're going to throw some pots. So I can throw pots kind of fast. So pay attention because it'll go quick.
This isn't, all right, ready?
So here, you got to take the camera.
Here we go.
Okay, so here we are at my meal.
Oh, you are.
Oh.
And look, it's Christmas over here.
Yeah, it's
Is there a
Christmas.
little snowman? Can you see the snowman?
Christmas in May.
Okay.
So this is my nice potter's wheel. I used to have one that was really, really noisy. I'd had it for 30 years and it was so loud.
JT made it.
Yeah, JT Abernathy, my mentor, made it for me. And it was so loud you could hardly hear yourself talk, but I was used to it.
I had to scream on the phone with him.
Yeah, it was kind of bad. So now I have this wheel and it's silent. So let's throw a couple pots, eh? So I got some clay here. And we're gonna go small, medium, and large. So like I said, don't be careful because you could miss this pretty quick. We're just gonna do one little one first, and pretty much is just gonna be a mug.
Doesn't even miss a beat.
No, I'm used to it. So we say with potters, it takes 2 minutes to make a pot, 20 years and 2 minutes, 20 years of practice, 2 minutes worth of actual work. So as you can see, I'm just making a quick little straight mug right here. I use a little piece of leather to smooth out the top. And a cute little tool I have here for cutting the bottom. Just like that. And then I use a little piece of string to cut it off the wheel. And it's already done. See? Quick and easy. So things are pretty, when you're making pots, this part is probably the part that goes along the fastest. But, you know, there's so much more work to be done to that, to finish it off, glazing it, firing it, and everything else. It just goes on and on. So the next one, we'll just throw a quick little bowl here. And now I use this plaster, it's called a plaster bat, and it's just a plaster thing that I throw pots on top of. I use a little clay here to hold it down onto the wheel, just like this. Different potters use different ways. Some people use a little piece of wood. I always like plaster. I think it works the best, but you know, everybody has their own thing, so you never know. So this one I'm going to use, I don't know, I think this is like 3 or 4 pounds of clay. And we will do this one real quick. And of course, the hardest thing about pottery really is that part right there, centering the clay. It's nothing for me, but when you're beginning, it's like everything. You'll take forever to do just that part alone. But when you've done it for as long as I do or have, it's no big deal. You just center the pot. And we open it up. And we're going to turn this one into a little bowl. So just a few pulls of the clay and you have a bowl. Not much to it.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, 20 years and 2 minutes.
Don't you just love them?
Renata, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's see, who is it? Someone was just asking where they can find your owl earrings. They couldn't find them on your Etsy site.
Oh, they're not. So I only have one pair. I'll hold them for Kim. It's hard for me. Everything that I do is kind of one of a kind. I have a lot of designs that I do reproduce, I guess, but the owl earrings are like one of a kind. And if people want owls, I'll do more. They're just really time consuming, but I do have the ones Kim texted me, so I'll save those for her. But I do a couple other designs, and I will put some of those up soon.
And you can also just send her a message on Etsy and
Yep.
say you want one.
Yeah, we'd like
And
to
she
know
can
how
do
many
it.
people actually liked seeing this video or this Zoom conferencing, and if we'd like some feedback as to if it's something that, you know, was profitable for everyone. Yeah, Stan?
Well, profitable for us.
Well, there'll be people after us.
Yeah. So this is going to go on. Everybody knows, I think Elizabeth talked about it. So this is going to go on every Tuesday and Thursday throughout this month. And then we're going to reevaluate and see how well it's worked out and do it probably in the next month and the next month. But so on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, this coming Tuesday, it'll be coffee at 10 o'clock with Tyler Voorhees, and he does collages. And he's also going to have a musical guy come on and do a little musical set too. And then I don't know who it is next Thursday, but we're going to go on continual for Tuesdays and Thursdays, Tuesdays at 8 or 10 and Thursdays at 4 p.m. So stay tuned to these things. They're going to be really fun.
Yeah, and support your musicians and wait staffs and all those gig job kind of people that that we are just stuck. Like we don't have anywhere to sell or work or.
Yeah, it's such a tough time now. Everybody knows we're all in this together. This sheltering in place. You know, for us artists, it's kind of a catch-22 because we work at home, so we're at home all the time, and we like that, and we love making our stuff at home, but we also need to go out and do art fairs, and we're not able to do art fairs this year.
And we like connecting with you.
Yeah, we like to see all the customers and everything. So we're not going to get to see you this year. You know, so far shows are canceled pretty much into August, and it'll probably keep going. So, you know, always help support anybody you can in the arts, in your restaurants, in your musicians. I mean, the musicians are really having a hard time too because they can't do any gigs at all. So we're all in it together, and everybody's got to help out and do the most you can to help us. And you know, we'll do what we can to help everybody else. And you know, both Renate and I started our Etsy sites this year. We had never been on Etsy because we did art fairs. We do, you know, an art fair every weekend. And so we started our Etsy sites, and they've been good. Renate's been more successful than me.
Well, it's a lot of work.
Pottery's hard to ship and sell, but I do it. Bought boxes, got everything ready. I'm ready to ship. So
yeah, I demanded it.
Yeah, she just throws hers in a little mailer, and you know, it's no big deal. But so anyway, we got one more little pot here.
Oh, he's gonna show off again.
Yeah. So I'll throw one more. Let's see if I can. You know, I can't spend too much time on this, so we'll do a vase or something here. See if I can do a vase real quick.
Question while you're at it, Stan.
Yeah.
Why does that need to be elevated on the platform to throw it?
Well, I do it on this because, for one, as you can see, I took this one right off the wheel, right on the plaster, and that way I can move it around without it warping. You see, it's not bending or anything. So then I can just take this one off, put another one on, and throw another pot. But also, because this is plaster, it sucks the moisture out of the clay through the bottom. Whereas if you didn't have that, then the sides of the pots here would be drying and the bottom wouldn't be. And so that would cause it to warp. So I used plaster bats, and that's the way I was taught. So hi, Amy, thanks for
loving us.
Yeah. So that's the way I do it. Everybody does it different. This is just the way that I was taught. So I was taught here in Ann Arbor by J.T. Abernathy, who is in his late 90s now, and he still makes pots. He's still around town.
And he has the wisest words that I've ever heard from any gentleman of his age.
Yeah, for a guy 90 years old, 90 plus, I think he's 96 or 98 this year.
He says few words, but they move people.
Yeah, he's a pretty amazing guy. I met JT when I was just 16 years old, and I started working for him when I was 18, and I worked with him for about 6 or 8 years until one day he kicked me out and said it was time for me to go out and make it on my own. So at that point, I went out and started my own studio and started doing art fairs. When I was in 1978, I started doing the Ann Arbor Art Fair. And it was pretty cool. I mean, I was the youngest artist in the art fair at the time. And my good buddy.
Now he's the oldest.
No, I'm not old. And I was just going to mention my buddy Jim Reiner, who's much older than me, much older than me.
He doesn't look older than you.
I don't, yeah, but he is. But Jim has been a mentor of mine for years, and he's helped me with art fairs. He's been doing the art fair actually longer than I have. So it's kind of, it's fun, but I'm always like in his shadow because he's been doing it so long.
You're in anyone's shadow?
Yeah, well, there's a couple. So anyway, now I'm just pulling up this pot, and I can't spend a whole lot of time on it because we're going to run out of time as we go, and we want to show you a bunch more stuff we got going on in here. But let's see if I can finish this one off real quick.
Pretty awesome.
It's always fun to throw pots. I just love sitting in here. This is This is when I don't think I'm actually working. I'm just having fun. And making pots is just the best thing. You know, still to this day, you find pots that were from the Egyptians. So, you know, you make a piece of pottery and it's around forever. It's the greatest thing.
So like Stan and I went to Goodwill one day and we found one of his pots. We bought it. The Egyptians
Yeah.
in Goodwill.
So there's another one.
Awesome.
And see, I can just pop it right off the wheel like that. And I can set it to the side and make another one.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. We love it.
We love it.
Yeah.
It's all about you.
Well, you love watching me.
All right.
Okay, so it's probably time to have another drink.
Oh, I don't know. Where's my glass?
There
Does
you
it
can
really
drink out
matter?
of it.
Cheers.
We don't have to worry about social distancing because although we don't actually live together, we're around each other a lot. So
Lucky you.
it is lucky. Okay, so what else we got for us today? I guess we're going to go up and show you. Well, we should show you some more of Renate's cool stuff. So she has them laying around here on all the different pots. Here's a really cool pair.
These are Cosmic Chit Chats. They're all aluminum and niobium.
Actually, it's better if they're over here so you can see them against. I'm not. I'm just. See, look at those. Aren't those cute? And actually, you know what? They'd look really good is like when you wear them, they dangle nicely. See, isn't that cute?
I don't think anyone likes that.
Oh, I don't think they're my style. But
And these are little woodland tweets.
yeah, so they're kind of cute. So look at the little tiny.
So those are aluminum and niobium. And they're lightweight, hypoallergenic,
Yeah, they're
friendly, and they sing a lot.
yeah. But so she makes all of these things out of anodized aluminum that she anodizes, and anodized rivets and hoops and metal.
So, and these are, I think these are Cosmic Sunsets.
Yep, and these
So-
are actually.
Those are very
niobium.
contemporary. Yeah, they're niobium.
So you can see how cool they are.
And they're fun. They're,
Looks like a sunset, doesn't it?
you talk a lot.
I always
I'm
talk
just
a lot.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Just wait until I have a little bit more of this. I'll bring some more.
Ah, so what else do you have to demonstrate, Ollie?
Well, I play the piano, but I know you don't want to hear that.
No.
She's even tired of hearing me practice piano. But I am
Actually,
getting
you
better.
do have one song that
I can play fleur-de-lis, and I'm getting,
Taylor Faber says you talk a lot.
yeah, she always thinks I talk a lot. That's her daughter.
Taylor's my daughter.
Hi,
and
Taylor.
She sent us a
Hi,
message.
Olivia. I'm sure you're
Hi,
out there.
girls.
too. So what else? We're going to go out and show you. So we have, see, we can't read it all, Taylor. It only says mom says something, but we can't see the whole comment that you made. But we're going to show you my warehouse.
Oh.
Because I have a warehouse. Oh, and so I don't know if you noticed, but you see this,
Oh, yeah, we have to show that.
so this is my normal design. And I've been making it so long that it's worn off on me. See? And then I also make world globes, and they've worn off on me too, and the moon phases. And pretty soon I'll be making ravens on my pots too.
So should we go to the warehouse and then you can show my favorite pieces?
Yep. So let's go out into the studio here, or in the warehouse.
I hope you guys
We're
are
gonna
having
take it.
fun.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying this. I'm going to turn this around so you can see the warehouse as we walk into it. So I even have a grandfather clock in my studio.
Gosh.
Yeah, Renate's not too happy about it.
Need a grandfather clock? That's what he uses platforms for.
Yeah, I have 6 grandfather clocks. So this is the warehouse where all my pots are. You can see this is all a whole bunch of raku stuff. And all my finished pots are in here. This is just one big room. Used to be my studio, and before I built my other one.
Oh, show him this.
Oh yeah, Renata loves this. Here, stand over there.
Well, I wanted to show him something else.
So that's my big globe on the stand. Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
It's like The Price is Right.
Yeah,
Is that?
but you'd need to change your clothes again. So it turns on both axes, and it's probably my most expensive piece. It runs at about $1,200, but it's pretty cool.
And I get 25% if he sells it.
No, she doesn't.
So here's my favorite.
Okay. Oh yeah.
It's a bank.
Yeah, it's the World Travel Bank, we call it. So you put your money in there to save for traveling, although I don't think any of us are going to be traveling too much right now, but you know, save up for later. I don't think you want to go on a cruise. I know one of our board members was stuck on a cruise for.
Stuck on a cruise. I still haven't heard the story.
Yeah, she was stuck on a cruise for 14 days or 20 days or something. It was ridiculous. Yeah, we have bird houses. My cool little bird feeder here. We call this the wild bird feeder. And then we have, oh, where is it? Then we have what we call the straight feeder. This is my straight feeder. You just lift up the top and fill it up. And those aren't up on my Etsy page yet, but they will be real soon. So you'll be able to see them. So I guess the last thing that we need to do is go back out. Yeah, drink again. Happy hour. So we need to go back out and show you the pots that came out of the raccoon.
Oh, let's go before we.
Because that's kind of fun. So let's go on out here. Oh, we're gonna bring the dog. There's the dog.
See Luna.
I have a big happy dog. Come on, puppy.
Hi, Luna.
She'll come with us.
Come on.
Come on, big girl.
Dan, will your egg pots come with a dragonfly design?
I do have some with the dragonfly design. I can show you. There's this one right here, has the dragonfly on it. And then we have what I consider the classic blue-green design. And I actually don't have those up on my Etsy page, but I will put them up in the next day or
Go
two.
and request them. Then we'll know that, this actually accomplished something.
Cool. Yeah, we had one person ask if they came with that design. So sounds good.
Yep. Yeah, and there's the big dog over there. Everybody loves Luna.
Come here, Luna.
Luna's the sweetest thing in the world, aren't you? Yeah, she talks a lot.
You know why?
Yeah, see, at 4 o'clock, she knows it's time for dinner. So anyway, so let's go out here, back out to the kiln shed. Yeah, here, you take it. And we'll open up these.
So no protection this time?
No, I don't need
Just
any
gloves?
protection. I might need some gloves because they might still be a little hot.
Can you all hear us?
You can hear you.
Okay, so I got a little bit of gloves here so we're gonna open these up, and inside we'll see what they turned out like. This is the fun part. So here was the one, and look at the great color that turned out on that.
Awesome.
Isn't that neat? The Great Lakes, or it's Michigan if you live here in the Michigan, but if you live somewhere else, it's just the Great Lakes. So we have that one, we have this one, and then we have just some random pots. This is a cool one. Then those other square vases are in here. We didn't get such great color, but they're still pretty cool. I like it when it's more purple. But you just never know how they'll turn out. The next ones might be different. Each one is different. That's the cool thing about it.
Ooh, that's nice.
So the neat thing about this is that once they come out, yeah, so you can see how it's kind of dirty up here. So they're actually still pretty hot. But
Let's go to the sink.
well, they're still pretty hot, but we can clean them off and the blue turns out even prettier.
They're beautiful.
So you can see that we'll clean it off and you'll see all the color, the blue comes out more. Isn't that nice? So there are some of those up on my Etsy page. So if you want those, they're
And
just raku vases, and they're really nice.
Stan has a holiday open house every year in December, so I'm assuming that you probably have it a little earlier this year.
Well, we
Maybe?
talked about a couple different ideas about trying to make up for art fairs. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
You never know what we do.
we might have our own channel.
Yeah. Or you might not ever see us again. Kind of is all up to you. But so what else we got for them?
I have a few questions here for you.
Questions?
Yeah.
So Ryan wants to know, how do you guys handle difference in taste as artists?
Well, she pretty much tells me what my tastes are.
That's not true. Tastes as in like in our work or?
Yeah, so she makes, you know, anodized aluminum jewelry, and I'm a potter. So, you know, we pretty much go our own ways when it comes down to making our pot or art.
Actually, I've given you a lot of great ideas.
She has given me a lot of great ideas.
Some of them are fuds, but some of them are
Yeah,
awesome.
some of them are good. She's pretty good about giving me ideas. I'm not so much good about giving her ideas, although I have given her a couple, but it seems like they just cost her money and not really made her. So that's just the way that goes.
But our tastes, I mean, I never really thought about it. I'm whimsy and you're functional.
Yeah, I'm a little more eclectic, but she's pretty eclectic too. You know, if you saw our houses.
I think he's talking about art.
Yeah, but that's all part of it.
I live in a Barbie dream house.
Yeah, and I live in a big old house. You know, historic home kind of.
Old, keyword.
Old. Yeah. Jeez. Okay, so I think it's time to toast another time. You ready? So everybody got their glass? Yay. And again, Bløm Meadworks. Thank them very much for our yummy growlers. We have 2 of them, so we get to drink for continual time. The other shout out that I want to give out today is at 6 o'clock, I think it is. Yeah, 6 o'clock. Tammy, my friend Tammy, and her friend Christy with Zingerman's is going to do a Instagram thing. So you can go on Instagram, and it's to, if you go to Zingerman's Food Tours, they're doing a little thing about the Tam Chop Farms, which is really cool. So go check that out at 6 o'clock on Instagram. And I think now we're just about getting to the time where we're going to wrap up.
We're going to go meet the neighbors, Stan's neighbors.
So I have these really cool neighbors that have put up with me for 20 plus years next to me. You know, me loading the van at 2 in the morning and they're trying to sleep and I'm throwing stuff around. So,
or just you being you.
Yeah, just me being me. I mean, you never know when I might build something at 2 in the morning or, you know, decide to mow the lawn for that fact. You just never know.
Maybe you should show them your satellite.
No,
not this time.
No, not this time. You have to tune in later for that. I actually have a real satellite in my backyard. But I have a lot of weird stuff. You know, there's a lot of weird artists out there. I'm just one of them. She's another one.
Mm.
Yeah, you are. So do we have, let's fill up here a little bit on her.
Should we put a little more?
Little more in there.
Are there any more questions?
Yeah, we have one more actually.
All right.
Betsy wants to know the Great Lakes pieces that you pulled out not too long ago. Were those plates or something else?
No, they hang on the wall. So they're, here, hold on to this. I'll grab one real quick.
He's going to get one. It's decorative.
Yep.
And they're actually really nice gifts. And one of my best friends from high school has one that she has in her cottage.
Yeah,
so
beautiful.
He's grabbing the one that he just did, and if you wanted,
so it's still pretty hot, but it actually has this little flange on the back, so it hangs up on the wall. I don't think I have a hook around here anywhere, but well, you can put it right here.
Here's one, right there.
Right. Oh yeah, right there.
See?
So you see there's this little screw right here, and it just hangs up on the wall like that.
Ta-da!
Isn't that cute?
That's awesome.
So that still needs to be watered.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this part of the blue, you can see will come out.
He doesn't spit on all of his work, I
No,
promise.
not all of it. But it actually turns out really blue.
Oh my God.
It's like I'm washing my kid's face.
Here.
So
Ooh,
you can
wow.
see how the blue's coming out. The whole thing will be blue. It has to be scrubbed out and washed. So they're really cool.
Are those on your Etsy page right now?
They're not right this minute because I had one and I sold it just recently to a friend of mine, Carrie Mayfield, who I went to school with. She just bought one and sent it off to some of her relatives as a present. And I have to take a picture of each individual one because they're always so different. You never know how. But I will post these up tonight. So if you go on my Etsy page later on tonight or tomorrow, hey, Tammy. And so check it out then. And they also, you can get them at the, we do have them sometimes at the Gutman Gallery. So the Guild has their own gallery down on 4th Street here in Ann Arbor, or 4th Ave. And
It's another way to support the artists.
Yeah,
It's the Gutman Gallery.
Yep, and it'll be opening up as soon as things are opened up in Michigan again. So check those things out. There you go. Shop the Gutman Gallery. So we're gonna step on out.
You're gonna meet the neighbors.
Meet the neighbors. If you here, I'll take this. And
We hope everybody had fun.
yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Seeing the studio, the clouds up there, and everything. If you grab both the drinks, and I will grab
the mead.
The mead because my neighbors might want some of the mead because it's pretty good. So here, I'm going to turn this around so that you guys can see everything. Let's see. There we go. So we'll walk out here. Oh yeah. And the connection might get a little bad, but so there you can see Luna, and there's our neighbors, Bob and Julie. They put up with me for years. And there's Luna. And you can see she absolutely loves them, don't you, puppy? And we have this little door here that we put in so that Luna can stick her head in and they can see them and talk to them. So she absolutely loves Bob and Julie.
She goes crazy.
Yeah, don't you, puppy?
Do you need mead? With the snack picture?
Oh yeah, he's got a snack jar over there. See,
So this is Bob and Julie.
yep. And see, he has a snack pitcher, and they are the greatest things. So I put the M&Ms in that bowl, but if you put them in that little pitcher, and I haven't made any yet this year, but I will. Yeah, see, isn't that cool? So yesterday when I talked to them about coming out and having our final toast with us, Julie sent me a picture back of like 24 of my goblets and mugs saying, well, which one should we use? Because we have so many of yours. So they've bought so many, and they've had so many tossed over the fence from me over the years that they have amazing supply of my pottery. So anyway, we want to thank you all for coming out and seeing us today. It was great. We hope to do it again. And like I said, I'm sure Elizabeth will talk to you again about the next one, which will be on Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Don't forget the Gutman Gallery.
Yep, don't forget the Guild. Yeah,
all the artists.
Thanks to the Guild. Unfortunately, no art fair this year, but come see us.
Figure out a way.
Yep,
to
we'll
do
see it.
something.
So anything, we'll pass it on over to you, Elizabeth.
Cheers.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, thank you guys so much. And I'm sorry, my dog is snoring in the background, but thank you all so much for tuning in. This was really fun. You guys did an awesome job. It was super engaging. So again, next week on Tuesday and Thursday, we have programs set up. So Tuesday at 10 a.m., we will have a coffee hour program with Tyler Voorhees. He's a mixed media artist, and he's going to do some demos and a studio tour for you guys. And then on Thursday, we have our happy hour at 4, and that's with artist Kim Arden. So I posted in our comments the link to our virtual art series Facebook page. So we encourage you guys to hop on there, like and follow us so you can get all of the information coming up here in the next month. So thank you guys so much, and we hope to see you next time. See you later.